Hey guys, this is Joe. I'm going to show you how to disassemble a Hyundai Sonata ignition. This ignition might be used for other Hyundai models. I'm not really positive. Mine's a '08, but here's the part number. It's 81920-3KF00. I picked this up on Amazon for like 65 bucks. Anyways, I got the new one. This is my old one, but I didn't want to use the new key. I wanted to use my old key, so I wanted to pull the tumblers and parts I need to rekey my new one with my old key. Anyways, I'll show you what you kind of need to do that. So you need some C-clip removers, a couple screwdrivers. There's a Phillips. I'm not really sure if I remember if I did the flathead or not, and then a pair of pliers. So first thing I did was I'm going to remove this piece here. Try to keep my hands out of it. So there's one screw here. Remove that, and then this part slides off. So I had trouble at first with this part here. I couldn't figure out. It's kind of like a puzzle. I couldn't figure out like why certain things fall out, why certain things don't fall out. So to start off, to get it out of the ignition, you have to put your key in, turn it to accessory, push this button here on the side, and then that's what slides it out of your console. And so anyways, once you get it out, well, then you can work on it easier. But I couldn't figure out how to pull this part off. So I looked inside here and I see there's a pin, and there's another part you can't see in there. But what happens is if you put your key in and turn it, it pushes this little piece, this little white piece up. So when it's turned off, this piece goes in, and this little button slides in there. So anyways, you have to turn your key, and then it allows this to push this piece up, and you can slide it out. So that's how you remove that. So the next thing you want to do is to pull this piece out of here. To remove this part from this housing, you need to remove these plastic pieces. So that's what I'm going to use this for here. You can grab this, pull this piece out, and you're going to need to pull this one out too. So set those aside. This will allow this to start to slide out now. But what's going to happen is when it slides out, you can see this, as it starts to slide out, it's getting caught. And it's getting caught by a few things. One is this piece right. So you have this part right here, this little button here. So you got to push this button here. This has to be in accessory position to push this button, so this slides out of here. So now this is out of the housing here. Set that aside. So now you still have, the rest of this to take apart. So the next thing is, here's another one of these little plastic things, like these rubber pieces here. So to take this part off, you can take your key out, and then you're going to want to pull this one out. Then this allows this plastic part to turn and slide out. Now we got most of that out. So now the thing is, you want to remove the tumbler part. So I'm going to put this back in here, but this won't come out until you remove a few more pieces. And here's the C-clip. So on top of this, if you see this right here, there's a little C-clip right here. So I'm going to use my tool here to put this. It's kind of hard to do it in front of the camera, but you want to put this in here, pull it apart, and the C-clip comes out. So set that aside. And what happens is it gets stuck because there's a flat piece in here and it's hitting against a pin that's in there. So what you got to do is, let me get this in here real fast. You need to push this pin up, and it'll let it slide out a little bit. Let me push this on there. And then it might catch on this here, so it might get stuck again. So then you gotta flip this over so this piece falls down, and then it'll slide out. And be careful, this little piece right here with the spring on it fell out. It goes right in here. So now that this is all disassembled, now you can actually see the individual little keys that are, or little pins that are keyed to this key here. So if I pull the key out, you'll start to see them pop out. So be careful that when you pull the key out, they'll spring out. So what I did was, there's some on the bottom and some on the top. I pulled the key out slowly. I'll just do a couple of them. But what happens is each time you pull these out, there's also a little spring in there. So I'll see if I can do this on camera. I'm going to pull one out here. Let's see if you can see this. So pull one out. You'll see there's a little spring right there. So I just laid all these out. I took every one of these out and laid them out. Then I took my new one and did the same exact disassembly. And then I swapped these little keys out here. And just remember, if the little spring pops out, put it back in there. And then I put them back in. And I put the key back in to hold them all in place. So I want to make sure that stays in, so that way they don't pop out. Anyways, that's what I did, and that's how I swapped out and was able to use my old key with my new system. So same exact thing we're going to do. We're going to put it back together. You'll see that there's two flanges right here. That's where these little key parts go in there. So also, actually, now that this is open, I'll show you in here. You can look in there, and there's this little white thing, that little part right there. So that's what stops some of the things to go through. And also, here's this piece, is what this one is, and that's what it stops from the tumbler coming out. So, oops, let me put this thing back together. So, make sure that when you put this in, you put it in right. What I mean by that is you might forget, like, oh, was the tumbler on this side or was it this tumbler on this side? And I think it was this way, but when I put it in there, we'll find out. So I'm going to flip this upside down and we'll see. And if I did it right, it'll go in there. If I did it wrong, which it looks like I did do it wrong. So I need to pop this thing back up. So let me pop this one, push that back through, flip it upside down, turn this all the way back this way. Okay, I got it in right. So that's good. So now put the, you can assemble it, whatever you want. You can do the C-clip for, let's do the C-clip right now. So this part's a little hard to do on the camera. So I'm going to see if I can do this right here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. So the clip back on there. So that's going to hold it. Now it can't pull out. I'm going to pull the key out so I can put this part on there. And also, you have to make sure you put this on right, because if you put it in, like, for example, if I put it this way, it looks like it's right, it fits, but then this piece won't fit right there. So I have it backwards. So I need to take this off and go this way. See, now there's an extra little piece right there, so this will fit in here. So we'll snap that in there. And then we'll do the next part, which will be the casing, or the housing here. So I remember from just looking at this, I have to have this little piece where the electronics part went. So I know that's going to go in there. So I know it goes in this way. But you also have to push this pin in, otherwise it won't slide in. What I mean is this pin right here. So I'm going to put the key, put it back into accessory position, so that way this button goes in, and now the whole thing will slide back in. Okay, now that that's in, I'm going to flip this back around so I can put this piece back there, and this piece here. Now this won't slide out anymore. And then just about the last part to do is, like I said, this part won't go down if the key's up. So if I take the key out, that piece falls down. Then when I slide this part in, it's stuck in there. It won't fall out. and you just put this part back on here, take that screw, put my hand in the way, and you're good to go. And that's how you do it.